It's time to review what happened in the North Okanagan real estate market for June, and we're starting now. Hi, I'm Lisa Salt with Vernon Salt Fowler with the latest info on Greater Vernon and the North Okanagan's real estate market. Also, the Shuswap. For more info on what's happening in the market in general, please subscribe to our channel and like this video as we're posting new videos every single week. On this channel, we give you the straight goods on Vernon and the whole North Okanagan and the Shuswap, our ultimate Four Seasons paradise. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, or you're just curious about the area that we call home, be sure to call, text, or email and just add salt. So let's look at the real estate stats for June 2022. Total sales were 203, down from last month and down from last year as well. May 2022, if you'll remember, was 231, April was 257, March was 281. So as you can see, the sales numbers keep declining month over month. Last June 2021, sales were 277, so we are down substantially this year over last. Now that we're halfway through the year, let's look at how those sales numbers stack up from 2022 to 2021. Last year, for the first half of the year, total sales were 1,765 units, and this year, 1,310, down 25.78%. Last month we talked about the interest rate hikes and the effect on real estate to combat inflation, which is now slowing down the economy and of course the sale of real estate. Now let's look at the inventory in the North Okanagan. Let's look at what is happening in the listing department. The total number of listings active on the market at month end, June, bumped up again to 901. So let's look at the recap on that as well for the last 4 months, because the most important part of all this is the trend. So March, 587 on the market, April, 690, May, 794, and now June, 901. So if we go back to January, we had 512 total listings on the market in the North Okanagan. And so if we do the math, between January and now, that is an increase of over 75% in the properties on the market. That's a huge increase. Last month we pointed out from the statistics that the market is changing, and we can still see that trend continuing for the North Okanagan. Sales are down and inventory is up. Now let's have a look at the Shuswap. 316 listings came on the market in the Shuswap in June versus 243 last year, for a total number of units on the market of 754. Up again substantially for 577 last year, so an increase of 30.68%. Sales in the Shuswap, 108 down from 173 last year, a decrease of 37.57%. And looking again at the year-to-date sales for the Shuswap, we're at 692 sales versus 958 sales last year, for a decrease of 27.77%. So that's all in line with what we would expect. The North Okanagan and the Shuswap normally move in the same direction, albeit at a slightly different pace. The absorption was down again for single-family dwellings. As we discussed last month, it was lingering in that kind of 60% range for the first 3 months of this year for the North Okanagan. Then in April went down to 48.9%, May 40.38%, and now we're down yet again to 34.21%. So a few months ago, 60% of all the homes on the market were selling, and now it's almost half of that. Now let's put this into perspective a little bit more. Our highest absorption during the height of the most recent real estate boom was in April of 2021. Our absorption was 90.31%, so over 90% of what was on the market was selling. I know that that's the highest I've ever seen in my nearly 30-year real estate career. Now let's look at the last 3 months of the other property types as well. Apartment condos. Absorption in April was 94.12%, May 52.83%, and June all the way down to 32.08%. Now that's a huge drop over 3 months. Townhouses are also down. April was 76.32%, May 52.83%, and June 46.15%. These trends are important, as I said before. It's easy to see the trends here. This is an interesting one, actually. April absorption on raw land was 25.71%, then May was 15.83%, and June, holy yikes, down to 8.66%. So this is the market we're in today. Across the board, every property type, less stuff on the market is selling. Buyers, the trend continues. The market has cooled quite a bit. You now have the opportunity to get in at still low interest rates and possibly without a multiple offer. Now that all depends on what price range you're looking in, because there still is a shortage of inventory in that very popular mid-range of price. Beware though, the forecast is for 3 more interest rate hikes this year, and that can change your financial picture very, very quickly. When you work out the difference between waiting for the market prices to fall versus likely buying at higher interest rates, you've got to do the math. An interest rate hike will eat up at savings and falling prices very, very quickly. Again, same as last month, please watch our video we released called Should I Buy a House Now or Should I Wait? It takes real life scenarios and shows you how much more potentially you could be paying for a house over the life of your mortgage as rates increase. It's actually staggering. Sellers, the market is still good. It's just not as good as it was. A multiple offer is no longer a guarantee. It's back to being a wish. It can still happen. I mean, of course, it can happen in any market. However, it's just less likely. And it's back to you having to be sharp with your pricing. You're going to run into more competition in your price range. Pretty much every price range has more competition, some less than others, of course, still. However, you as a seller need to be ahead of the market, or else you're going to be following that market in the wrong direction, which is the last thing you want to do. Last year, if you didn't get an offer right away, then you would wait, because next month the prices were up. And in no time, your too high price was market value. Not so anymore, I'm afraid. This is creating a bit of difficulty in pricing for us as realtors, as the only comparables that we use are historical values. And we don't normally know all the history of every house, if a house sold with multiple offers or if it didn't, if that price that was paid for the house was potentially over market value at the time because there was 5 or 10 offers. You can see the problem as you go to look at these sale prices from a few months back, and there's a few multiple offer sales that inflated the prices of a few different houses. We're basing the value of your home, or you may be basing the value of your home, on historical figures that simply wouldn't be anywhere near the ballpark today. So beware of that. It's a moving target. And of course, always contact your realtor for a professional home evaluation to see where you stand in today's market. I can recommend a great realtor for you. Remember, it's not the market, it's the marketing. Calling us, you don't have to wait for an evaluation. We'll be at your home in 24 hours for an in-person evaluation. Call, text, or email, just add salt. Had to get that little commercial in there. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you in July.